So as mentioned earlier, we're now going to finally demonstrate how to use the Known Malware Detection Firebase extension. Keep in mind that this uses the file intel service provided by Pangea. The way this extension works is pretty simple, but it allows us to upload files from anywhere, and then that file's content is going to be compared to a database provided by Pangea of 25 million other malicious files. If there's a commonality within the content, then we know that we have a potentially malicious file that's been uploaded, and we can then send that file to a password protected zip folder and also optionally delete the original file or keep it if we choose to do so. So let's go ahead and actually get this extension installed. So we're going to head to the extensions tab within the Firebase on the left side of the pane. Here's the extensions I currently have installed. We're going to ignore these and just hit explore extensions. It's then going to navigate us to the extensions marketplace where all these extensions are available. And then we're going to filter by provider because we're only interested in the Pangea services. There it is. We're going to look for Known Malware Detection, hit View Details, and then we're going to hit Install in Firebase Console. Select the Demos project, and then it's going to give us a prompt that we need to run through in order to configure the extension. So the first prompt is Early Access Partner Extension. This is letting us know that Pangea is still in early development with this extension. So it is as is. Just keep that in mind if there are any issues while working with it. I haven't experienced anything really, but just keep that in mind. Hit next. Review billing and usage. This is letting us know that this is an API, so it's going to be making requests. Therefore, it could cost money if we go over a certain limit, but for this demonstration, we're not even going to scratch the surface, so we're good. Hit next on that. Review APIs enabled and resources created. This is letting us know that since this is an extension, it's going to be letting us know which services or anything that it needs to communicate with on the back end to operate functionally. Okay, so just keep that in mind that it will be using things like the Event Arc API or cloud storage. All right. With next, review access granted to this extension. So this is saying that storage admin allows this extension to store neutralized files in cloud storage, and then secret manager secret assessor allows the extension to read secret values from cloud secret manager. We'll hit next on that, and now we can finally configure the extension how we want. So the cloud functions location will keep as is US Central 1. The Pangea service base domain, this is going to be in our dashboard, and as you can see right here, we have the domain AWS US Pangea.cloud. So make sure that you have the domain set to whatever you have in Pangea. If you don't, the extension will not communicate properly and then will essentially be non-usable. Then a Pangea auth token with access to the file intel service. We'll come back to our dashboard, go to project settings, tokens, and then look for that file intel token, and we'll copy that right here. Paste that in here and then hit create secret. Scroll down, cloud storage bucket to secure. We'll leave that as is. Absolute path to move the zip malicious files. We're going to put it into a directory called Malicious. You can change it to whatever you want, but this is where we'll be storing our malicious zip files at. A password to protect the gzip container. This is optional if you wanted to have it password protected, but I won't be doing that for today. Deletion of the original file. As I mentioned earlier, we have the option of deleting that original file, or we can keep it if we choose to do so. So we're going to delete it for this demonstration. Then we have paths that contain files you want to monitor for malicious behavior. This is if you want to specify actual directories to be checked by the extension. By default, if you leave it blank, the extension is going to check all the files. So for this demo, we're only uploading one malicious file and one non-malicious file. So we won't be needing to specify any paths for this demonstration. Next is list of absolute paths not to monitor for malicious behavior. This is also optional, but if there were specific directories that you did not want the extension to check for, you would specify those paths here. Cloud function memory, we'll keep that at 1 GB. And then there's also this configure advanced parameters, but we don't even need to touch this. We'll just leave this as is. Finally, enable events. We need to check this because for the next video, we're going to be using the audit logging, and we need to be able to also log events when it comes to using the known malware detection extension. So we'll leave that channel location as is, and then make sure that you select complete for the type of events. And now we just hit install extension. Now, if you've ever worked with Firebase extensions, they take about 3 to 5 minutes to actually download. So I'm gonna let that run its magic, and I will be back in about 5 minutes. The extension is now completely downloaded, so we're good with that. Now, something I didn't mention earlier was in order to test this extension, we of course are looking for malicious content in our file, but there's no point of actually risking downloading a virus on our computer when using this extension for testing, right? So there's actually a test malicious file that we can use, and it's simply just a certain string that we place within any file, and it will have, I guess, essentially the properties of a malicious file without actually damaging your computer. So we're going to have 2 files for this demonstration, one malicious file and then one non-malicious file. And we're going to use that as the variable, so to speak, to demonstrate how one file will be put into that zip folder while the other one will stay in its normal location in storage. So I'm going to open up my terminal, and I'll just navigate to the desktop, and we'll create a file called malicious file. Yeah, malicious file. And then we'll also create one called non-malicious file. So we have those 2 files created. If we come to the desktop, the malicious file, we can simply open it up, and we're going to paste this string in here. All right, and I'll be sure to share this string within the description, but this is the official string that you would place in any document file, usually a text file, to give it a malicious content attribute. So we're going to save this. So this makes our file malicious. For the non-malicious file is blank. We're going to leave this as is because we don't want the known malware extension to do anything with this file. Okay. Now, that is how we set up the files. Now let's go ahead and demonstrate what it looks like in the app. So I made a simple Flutter application that allows me to pretty much perform all of the operations that we would in the Firebase console, but within the Flutter app. So as you can see, I had to type Flutter in here somehow. But basically, I have 3 buttons in this app. The first button, we're going to upload a file, and this will allow us to upload the malicious file as well as the non-malicious file. So for this video, I'll go ahead and demonstrate that now, but I'll briefly explain what I have here. So something to keep in mind is I have the storage service I created in Flutter that simply calls the Firebase storage Flutter package to upload a file to storage based on whatever demo project that we're working with. And then it's going to save the name, the file path name, the base name of it when we upload it. Within the UI, just this demo page, simple UI, calling the services, then the 3 buttons. The upload file button is calling that service to upload the file. If it's successful, we get the snack bar showing file uploaded successfully. Okay. So if I come over to, let me see. So within storage, we'll go to storage to also see the files that we have. So right now, we don't have any files uploaded just yet. Now, within the app, I've already added the malicious file and the non-malicious file to the iOS simulator. That way I can upload it from the app. So I'm going to hit upload file, and it's going to open up these 2 files. These are pretty much the files I created earlier. We're first going to upload the malicious file to see how that acts. Okay. On the record, please check the server response. Let's see. Something went wrong. Maybe I need to refresh this. Upload file. Add the non-malicious file. Okay. I think I just had to refresh it. It was some stale data. All right, but it says file uploaded successfully. So if I come over to my storage, refresh the page. Okay, I actually uploaded the non-malicious file first. So that's actually working how it should. It should stay right there as the non-malicious file. Now if we go back to the app and we upload the malicious file, file uploaded successfully, refresh the page. So the malicious file was uploaded. Now, within, I say, a couple seconds, it may take a couple seconds to actually work, but if we refresh it, it should be, there we go. As you can see, it's now within this directory called malicious, and it is now zipped up. It also deleted the malicious file as it was supposed to. So the non-malicious file stayed where it's at. The malicious file was uploaded initially. However, after a few seconds, the known malware extension kicked into action and zipped it up and extracted it to this malicious directory. That's how you use the known malware detection extension. In the next video, I'll explain how we can use the audit logging Firebase extension.